everybody! I'm here today to tell you how to tell if your car is ready for the driving test. In this video, I will be going over 5 specific things that will allow you to know if your car is ready for the driving test, because it's definitely important for you to be ready for the driving test, but having your car ready for the test is pretty much just as important. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. The first way to tell whether or not your car is ready for the driving test is to make sure that all of the accessories work. Now, I mean pretty much everything that is not mechanically important to the car. I'm talking about the signals on the front of the car and the back of the car, the headlights, the high beams, the daytime running lights, the tail lights, the brake lights, the horn, everything, the heat in the car, because even though you might not think it's that important for the test, you might have to defog your window quickly, and you need not necessarily the heat, but you do need your air system to work properly in the car. So basically, you want to make sure that every single non-mechanical electronic piece of equipment is working on the car. Anything electronic needs to be working. And all of these things that I'm talking about are not part of the car actually driving mechanically, but they are important for the person as a driver, and they're definitely important for the test. The second way to tell, the second thing, is to make sure that it drives and stops properly. Now, I'm saying this because a lot of people go and book their driving test and they end up trying to pass their driving test on a car that doesn't drive properly. That's one of the worst things that you can do, because you can be the best driver in the world, but if the car doesn't drive and stop properly, you're probably not going to pass the test. In fact, the driving test examiner is probably going to deem it as being unsafe, and you're probably just going to have to reschedule it, or they'll fail you for it. So, sorry about that, I'm getting a little bit sick over here. So basically, make sure that it drives and stops properly for your sake and for the sake of the driving test examiner, okay, because it's a matter of safety. The third way to tell, the third factor, I'm sorry, this guy in front of me, this manual car, almost rolled back into me, and I'm pretty far back, so it kind of threw me off for a second there, but it's all good. Might be learning how to drive, it's all good. All right, the third factor is that you know how to drive that car smoothly. Now, I know that this video is about your car being ready, but this is, you know, this is dependent on the car itself and you in conjunction with each other. You have to know how to drive that specific car smoothly, and I'll tell you why. You might be a great driver, but if you put yourself in a car that you've never driven before, or you've only driven once or twice, your driving skills probably won't be able to shine through properly. Even myself, if you throw me in a brand new car right now, you know, I'm gonna be different as a driver, and my skills won't be necessarily as good. So you gotta know how to drive that specific car smoothly. If you do, then that is another thing that you can check off the list with regards to the car being ready for the driving test. And sorry about that, and yourself along with the car being ready for the driving test. So just like I said, you could check it off the list. It's another thing with yourself and the car being ready for the driving test. The fourth way to tell, the fourth thing to look at for whether or not the car is ready for the driving test, is make sure that it is reliable and unlikely to break down. Now listen up, okay? What I don't want to happen is, you know, you get all ready for the driving test, you prepare, you are ready to go as a driver, and then like you go to start your car and it doesn't start, right? It broke down. What I want you to do is make sure that the car that you're going to be driving is very reliable and it is not likely to break down. I mean, realistically, any car can break down at any point in time. 100% that's true. But we're talking about likelihood here. I want you to have like less than a 1% chance of your car breaking down instead of a 99% chance of your car breaking down on the day of the test. Last but not least is the fifth way to tell, the fifth factor, which is the car can legally be on the road. You want to make sure that the car is legally allowed to be on the road. Basically, it depends on where you live. I can't speak for every single country, every province, every state, every city, but most places you're going to need to insure the car okay, or yourself sometimes, right? But you're gonna need some form of insurance, okay? You're also gonna need some sort of like registration, which could be like ownership of the car. And you're gonna need probably some sort of license plate or license plates. Now, where I live, we actually have to have 2 license plates on the front and on the back of the car. But I know many places only require 1 license plate. But you're gonna need some sort of plating for the car. And that's it. I mean, really, once you have those 5 factors down, once you can check them off the list, you can pretty much say that your car is ready for the driving test. Will it break down the day of the driving test? Maybe. Will you mess up even though you know how to drive the car properly? Will you all of a sudden not know how to drive it for that day because you're nervous? Maybe. I'm not guaranteeing that you're gonna pass, but at the end of the day, you know, your car is very likely to be ready for the driving test if you sort of check off these 5 factors and you make sure that they're good to go. And that's basically it. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great car and driving videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.